So tonight we want to talk about a topic that there's a lot of confusion about, home office deduction, right? And so pop quiz, if you work from home, can you deduct your mortgage or your rent on your business taxes? True or false? Which one? So let's talk about it, right? Because again, a lot of people get a little bit confused when it comes to home office deduction and how it all works. So let's talk about what are the rules? What does the tax code say about home office deductions? Let's first of all start with the fact that home office deductions, as of today, like right now with the current tax code, home office deduction only applies to business owners. And so if you are an employee and you work from home, and meaning you get a W-2 from a company and you work from home, this does not apply to you. The recent tax law change a couple of years ago took that deduction away from employees. And so this deduction only applies to those who have businesses and you work from home. That's the first thing. The second thing that I want to make sure that I make clear is what constitutes as a home office. Okay. So the tax code says that if you have a home office, you can deduct your home office if it is a space that you use regularly and exclusively for your business, right? So regularly means that this is kind of like where you work, and so now with the pandemic, working from home is more common than it was years and years and years ago, especially when the tax code was written. But this space needs to be a space that you're using on a regular basis. Now, you can have a home office and have a location somewhere else, but if you do like all of your admin stuff, that's where you do your administrative work and all of that, you may qualify under the regular rule. So it needs to be regularly. That's where you do it. So I am in my home office, right? And so this is, you guys see this background every time I come on for 15 minutes of fire, or if I'm teaching a class. And so this is my home office. This is where I work regularly. I don't work anywhere else in my house. My laptop is not allowed in my bedroom. It is not allowed in any other part of my house. I only work in my office. And so this is my regular space. So the second part of the tax code says that it needs to be exclusively, right? And so that means that this room needs to be a room that you use only for your business. And so I've seen people have a home office, and it's home office slash guest room, home office slash playroom, home office slash dining room. No, it has to be an office. So if the auditor were to come to your home and they said, hey, don't point me in the direction of your home office, will they be able to easily identify your home office? And so that's the test that you want to give yourself. And so will they be able to easily identify your home office? And if the answer is yes, then more than likely, then that's the exclusive part. So if you have a bed, a treadmill, you got other stuff in your home office that's not necessarily related to your business, then it is questionable as to whether or not your home office is indeed a home office for tax purposes, right? So that's the first thing. First, we need to find out, do you qualify? Is your home office an actual tax home office? Then the second piece is figuring out, how do we calculate the deduction when it comes to our home office? So I asked you at the beginning, can you deduct your rent or your mortgage payment since you work from home? And the answer is partly, right? And so the way that you calculate your home office deduction is, we need to take square footage. So what is the square footage of your entire home office, right? And then what is the square footage of your entire home? And based on that, we take that number and we do some math. So we divide the square footage of your office by the square footage of your home, and we come up with a percentage. And based on that percentage, that's the percentage of your rent that you can deduct. That's the percent. You can't deduct your whole mortgage, but That's the percentage of your interest in your taxes that you can deduct, right? So for me, my home office actually takes up 10% of my home. And so for me, or 10% of my apartment, because I live in an apartment in Mexico. And so that means that 10% of my rent I can deduct. 10% of my utility bill I can deduct. 10% of my that's all I gotta pay. Rent and utilities, right? So you can deduct. So when it comes to expenses that are related to the entire home or apartment, right? You take the percentage that your home office takes up. That is how you determine how much of it. So, saying all that to say, pay your mortgage, pay your rent, pay your utilities, all of those things in your personal account. Just because you have a home office does not mean that you can pay your light bill or your gas bill from your business account. That is not how it's done. You pay it from your personal account, and then you can take a partial deduction for it on your business account. And depending on how your business is structured will determine how that actually happens. For me, with my clients, we actually work through creating like an accountability plan so that the business can reimburse them for that percentage of home office use. Now, what about if you have expenses that are directly related to your office? How do you handle those things? So let's say, for instance, that I decided that I wanted to get my office painted and I wanted it painted in my brand colors. So if I just painted my office and not the rest of the apartment, which I don't think I could do that, but let's just say I did, and I painted my office, my brand colors, I could fully deduct the cost of that paint job because it was specifically for my office. Now, let's say if I got all of the walls in the apartment painted, then in that case, because my home office takes up 10% of my home, then I would be able to deduct 10% of the entire paint job. Okay. And so if it is something that is directly related to your home office, then you can deduct 100% of it. If it is related to the entire home, then you deduct the percentage that your office takes up. So let's talk. I'm going to speak to homeowners and then speak to renters because there are some things that are different. So if you're a homeowner, you may be paying like homeowners insurance, and you may be paying HOA fees, or you may be paying for lawn care or maintenance, all of those kinds of things. Keep track of all of those expenses, but because if you have a home office, you can take a percentage of those expenses on your taxes. So again, we're gonna keep using my example. My home office takes up 10% of my home, and so any expenses that I have related to the entire home, then I can take 10% of that for my home office. So that again includes lawn care. If you have a security system, if you have a housekeeper, you can take a percentage of the money that you pay for your housekeeper to clean your entire home. The key is keeping good records, right? You want to keep records of what you're spending on a monthly basis. Don't estimate. Get you a nice little spreadsheet and add in every time you pay your utility bill, add that total to your spreadsheet so that at the end of the year, when you're filing your taxes, you know your exact totals and you're not telling your accountant that you spent $5,000 on utilities, because it's real hard to spend exactly $5,000 on utilities. And so that is the way that you want to keep track of those things, right? So now if you're a renter, honestly, renters actually get a bigger deduction when it comes to the home office deduction because you get to take a percentage of your rent. Whereas with a mortgage, you can't take a percentage of the entire mortgage. You can only take a percentage of the deductible part of the mortgage, which is the interest, the taxes, and the insurance, not the principal payment, right? But if you're renting, you can take the entire, you can take a percentage of the entire rent payment. Same thing if you have renter's insurance or things like that, you can take those things. Now, if it's an expense directly related to your home office, then those things are deductible 100%. So when I purchased this bookshelf, because this bookshelf was for my home office, I can deduct that bookshelf 100%, right? But when I pay the electric bill, because the electric bill is for the entire apartment, I can only deduct a percentage of that home office part. Home office deduction is a huge deduction. It is a huge benefit. The key is to keep good records. Now, one caveat to the home office deductions only apply to businesses that show a profit. So if your business has you have a loss in a particular year, and this is like a Schedule C business, sole proprietorship, you have a loss, your home office deduction is not going to help you in the year of that loss, but it will carry over from one year to the next. And so that's just something to keep in mind. So hopefully this is helpful. I see some stuff in the comments. Let me check the comments real quick, see if if I haven't already answered those questions. And if you all have any questions, those of you who are watching live, definitely put them in the comments. If you're watching the replay, put them in the comments. I'll come back and respond to them. So you said, I have a home office. I mainly work from the office. All the admin is done there, although I have a child care center. Yep. So your home office qualifies because you're doing your admin stuff there. You've never deducted for tax purposes, but you can, because that is where you are doing the admin stuff of your office. So in your case, you'll take your square footage of your home, which is 250, divided by your whole home, 2,500, come up with a percentage. And now you can take that percentage of your expenses, not your entire mortgage, though, only the deductible part of your mortgage. So you can take 10% of the mortgage interest, 10% of the property taxes, 10% of the insurance. You can pay 10% of your electric bill, your water bill, your gas bill, your security, like the alarm system, pest control, housekeeper, all of the expenses that you have to keep up your home, you can take a percentage of it. Because think about it like this. If you had a physical location, you would probably still have all of those things. You would have to pay electric bill, you have to pay a water bill, you got to pay pest control, you got to pay a janitorial service, you got to pay for the security service. So you would pay for those things anyway. So if your office is in your home, you just get to deduct a percentage of those things. And so this is where the benefit of being a home-based business comes into play, because now you get to deduct on your taxes expenses that you're paying anyway. You're going to pay your rent, you're going to pay your utilities, you're going to pay your security system, you're going to pay your housekeeper, your landscaper, all of those things. But because you have a business in your home, now you get to deduct a percentage of those business. And so hopefully this information was helpful. Again, if you have any questions, if you're watching a replay, let me know. If you are looking for an accountant in your business, check us out at the BTB Advisory Firm.com and see if our services and our rates are a fit for you and your budget. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys next week.